Hi guys, hope you're all well. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Marium Hanif and I do little baby videos and I will start doing like normal videos because quite a few people have asked me. This video is about breastfeeding. Breastfeeding must-haves and top tips that I have learnt along the way. I will not go into detail about the benefits of breastfeeding and blah blah blah. If you bottle feed, that's absolutely fine. Everybody has their own choice. I personally chose to breastfeed for religious reasons as well as sort of health reasons. So in our religion it's recommended to breastfeed up until 2 years. World Health Organization also said it's good for the baby and good for mummy to breastfeed up to 2 years. So that is my aim. I am 14 months in, so fingers crossed, inshallah we get to the 2-year mark, but it's not been easy. He is naturally very close to Zahid, so me being able to breastfeed him really helped me build that emotional bond with him, so I'm quite happy with that. As well as when he's ill and if there's a virus going around, breast milk really does help prevent, and it has so many antibodies in it so it can cure any illness or protect them from any viruses that are around. So baby must-haves. Number one is a really good nursing pillow. So I had one of those widgy nursing pillows, like half moon shaped ones. They're really good. They're multifunctional, so you can use them for napping on them in the sofa when they're really, really small. They can use them for tummy time. They can just use them to help sit down with. It's just really good because it allows you to be hands-free. So you just put it around your waist and you can just do anything with your hands, like be on your phone or watch something or read a book or whatever. I didn't read no books, but you can read a book. Just make sure that you're in a comfortable place, so make sure you've got a comfortable nursing chair or you've got a comfortable pillow to sit on, because in the first few weeks and few months you will need something comfortable just to help you heal and just get better. When you are feeding, you really do need to make sure that you have the correct posture. So if you feel like you need another pillow, just grab another pillow. Don't be stingy on it or don't be lazy, because putting so much pressure on your back after you've just been through birth is not a good idea. Make sure your shoulders are nice and down low. Make sure you're relaxed and just enjoy the whole process, like enjoy breastfeeding. Number two is a really good nursing bra. Really make sure that you invest in a few good ones. You don't need to buy like 10, just like 3 or 4 is absolutely fine. To be honest, you probably need to look to buy them before you start feeding, because your milk flow will start to produce just before you give birth, and you do want to be a little bit more comfortable, so you don't want anything with wires on underneath because it doesn't allow the milk to flow. It just doesn't enable you to get that milk flow production going before the baby needs it. So really do make sure that you invest in some good ones. I personally loved the Bravado range. I'll put a link down below of everything, but the Bravado range was really, really good. They are a bit pricey, but I know Jojo Mama Baby and probably some other stores in different countries, but in the UK, Jojo Mama Baby do always do sales on them, so keep a lookout. Number 3, make sure you do get some breastfeeding friendly tops. Now, one of the tips, it's a tip as well actually, so what I used to do was wear really flowy tops, and what I still do is wear really flowy tops and wear a sort of a nursing tank top underneath. So I got mine from H&M, which were really cheap, really good, and it basically allows you to pull your top up instead of pulling down, which you don't want to be doing in public because you'll get all the perverts. But you want to be pulling up, and you'll have your tank top underneath that is covering yourself, and you just literally just feed baby, and hardly anybody will be able to see. If you do have a really good nursing cover, that's perfect because it does protect you that extra bit. I did do that as well, but you really don't need it if you've got like a nice flowy top, loads and loads of material, just covers you up really. And it's also good to hide that baby weight. Just saying. Number 4 is some nursing pads. In the first few months you will leak like major. I had a bad incident with a grey top and that wasn't pretty, but you should just make sure that you have enough pads with you all the time. If I could go back, I would get the reusable ones where you can wash them and reuse them again. It's just so much more environmentally friendly. So must-have number 5 is to make sure that you get some good treatment for that area. The number 1 thing was the Lancino Lanolin cream. I don't know if anyone can say it properly. Basically just protects you, it's all natural, and it just lets you heal. So even though most of the time nothing was wrong with me, I just used to put it on just in case, and it's okay for baby to feed with it on. This one I used literally every time I fed for the first month or two, and then I used it whenever I needed to. The other one was multi-mam compress pads. So these are just intense recovery. I had trouble with Yahya latching on, so I use these multi-mam compress pads, and they really helped with overnight recovery. I just put one on, and it was absolutely perfect in the morning. So they just come in little patches like this, and it's only one in a pack. And the other one was for the early days, you will have engorgement, and you may get mastitis if you don't look after the milk properly. So I got these Lanolin heat pads. You can just use a hot water bottle or some heat, something that lets off heat. It's just to make sure that the milk can be let down easily, so you could just hand express it out or pump it out. And you just put them in the microwave for a few seconds, but you can do it with, I was first time mummy, you just buy all this crap, don't you? But you can use a hot water bottle, that's the same thing. The next thing is breast pump. So make sure that you have a really good breast pump and some bags. So when I mean bags, I mean like these, I got these free in a pack, Emma's Diary pack, make sure you sign up to those. But these Lansano, or I didn't even have Lansano, I literally went on Amazon and got a pack of 100 for like 20 quid or something. It was uber cheap, but it wasn't 20 quid, I can't even remember. I'll put a link of them down below. Okay, so use these for milk, for excess milk, and don't store them for over 6 ounces and stuff like that, because most of the time when they're so small, you only need a few ounces, like 3 ounces, 4 ounces at a time. If you start heating up 6 ounces, you won't be able to use them again. So just try and do small amounts in small batches. I mean, even if you express 6 ounces, just put 3 in each bag. So the breast pump I got was the Medela one. I got the one with 2 pumps. I would say just to get the one with 1 pump, because I very rarely sat there and did 2 pumps. It wasn't worth it. It's probably like double the price. Also, they're really, really handy at the beginning few months, because you will have engorgement and you don't want to get mastitis. So make sure you pump out any excess milk that you have and store it, because it is like liquid gold. For recovery, the best thing is to actually use your own milk on that area. It's got loads of healing properties, and it will help heal. Make sure you have a really good nursing cover. It is so helpful for those early days when you are feeling really uncomfortable going out and feeding. I personally never did feel uncomfortable. I was like, this is not going to stop me from going out and having dinner or tea or going out for a coffee. I had one from Mama Moosh, I think that's how you say it. I have lost it now, otherwise I would show you. I don't know where I put it. Another really good tip is having breast shields. They are so helpful in those early few weeks. It is quite traumatic, and you don't want to put too much trauma on that area. So if you are feeling like they are sore, or they are cut, or they will be getting bruised soon, or something along those lines, start putting the shields on, let them recover, and then start feeding baby normally. Milk will still start flowing, you'll still be able to express, you'll still be able to do the normal things, but it will just help you ensure that baby is feeding and latching on properly and getting enough milk as well, so you're not like, oh, can't feed because I'm sore. Let baby feed, it's absolutely fine. The shields will really help. I had the Medela ones. I'll put a link down below of the ones that I had. Always keep a spare top in your bag, just in case you do have leaks or vomit or anything like that. That's just a standard tip. A soother or a comforter. So having one of these when they're really small is helpful, because you can put your milk on it or the milk that the baby has. It lets them know that you're nearby, even though you're not. And lastly, I would say to have some formula, just because there might be one day where you are unable to feed baby, or there might be an emergency situation. Just make sure that you have like 1 or 2 like pre-made bottles, just in case. I used to use the HIP organic one, and then as time gone on, we changed to the goat's milk based one, which is called Nanny Care. I'll put a link down below. But right, now top tips for babies. So these are just things that I learned along the way, and that I found really helpful. So tip number 1 is make sure you have plenty of water. and snacks while you are feeding baby. So if you are going up for a feed, then take one of these bottles. So I had these ones which have the timings on that no one ever follows. It's recommended to have 2 of these bottles a day as standard, but for breastfeeding I would have this half of this whole bottle, half of this bottle, or all of the bottle if you are actually feeding baby, because the fluid that you are releasing, you need to be able to put that fluid back into your body just to let the milk then regenerate and flow back to baby for the next feed. You need to always top up on snacks. Pie is really good. You can always look at all the top fruit and foods to eat for breastfeeding. I'll put a link down below. A really cool tip that I learned along the way was putting a muzzy, just like one of these, underneath your actual bra. So what I found was, in the beginning, so much milk was being leaked. So Yahya didn't know how to do it, I didn't know how to do it. It was literally just falling everywhere, and it would get on my top, I would smell, it would be, after a while it just stinks. So you just need to make sure that you're always clean. And what I found was using a muzzy like this, and just tucking it underneath your bra while you're feeding baby. Any milk would go onto the muzzy, and then literally afterwards I would just wipe Yahya's mouth with the end of it, and it would be literally everything would be on the muzzy, so you wouldn't need to worry. I got my muzzies from Aiden and Nanai, so I can put a link down below, but you can use any old muzzy, it's the same thing. Tip number 3, make sure you get the perfect latch. What is the perfect latch? I had no idea when I started, but basically how the baby latches onto the milk supply. So you need to make sure that that is correct, otherwise that's what causes soreness, cuts and bruises, and all those horrible nasty things that you don't want to have. So if you think about everyone's palate, we have like 3 sections of it. So we've got one section right at the front where our teeth are, and that's like the really rigid section. If you feel your own at the top palate now, it's literally got like loads of bumps, and then the middle part has got a little bit less, and then if you go right to the back, it's so nice and soft. That is exactly where you want to have baby sucking from. You never ever ever put yourself into baby's mouth. Always put baby into the milk supply and ensure that it goes right to the back of the neck. And the way that you can do that is by putting a little bit of milk on the nose or on the top of the lip to make them open really wide. Once they open really wide, then literally put them right in onto the milk supply and allow them to suck. Now, if they're sucking with their cheeks going in, like that, that's the wrong way. They need to be moving their jaw. So if they are going up and down, that's the correct way, and you know that they've latched on properly. And I always used to triple check, but with his bottom lip. So if his bottom lip was popped out or curled out, it would always be the best thing. If you are having problems with latching, I would highly recommend going to see a latching consultant. They do loads of, in the UK, you have them everywhere, like they have them in their local place, in their local halls. You'll be able to find one online, and it's so much easier to speak to a professional and just make sure that you get it right. Make sure that you have a awesome baby app on your phone. It is so helpful to make sure that you are keeping track of when baby is feeding and just ensuring that they are feeding regularly and which side you last fed on, which is really helpful. Another tip is to have a hairband on your wrist, and you can move that from side to side as to which side you last fed off. To be honest, over time, you'll just know, because you can tell which side you last fed on, because that side will be so much more fuller than the last side. Relieving wind. So wind is basically where air gets trapped in baby's tummy, and that happens when you're breastfeeding as well. Like, it isn't just with bottle feeding. What really helped me was Infocol. So I used a lot of Infocol in the beginning few months. Great water and all of that never helped me. Using Infocol, it basically, they have like these big bubbles in their tummy that cause them a lot of pain. Infocol helped break those down into smaller bubbles that allowed Yahya to bring those up, or back out. So many methods that you can use for actually taking wind out, so find the one that's best for your baby. For Yahya, it was just sitting him up an anti-clockwise rotation, There's loads of baby massage tricks that you can do. I would also say to get a Netflix subscription, just because in the early days it takes so long to feed baby, and most of the times you'll be on your own. So it's just good to watch something. I watched a lot of The Crown when he was first feeding, and you can just catch up on like trash TV. Like, you got nothing else to do. You can read a book, but I didn't do that. Final tip, when they are about 5-6 months, move them into their own room. Have their own cot, let them be, you know, used to sleeping on their own. Like, you do not want to be having a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old sleeping in your bed. That's not helpful at all. So we moved Yahya when he was 5 months, but saying that, at about 6 o'clock, 6:30, he does come into our bed in the morning. I think that's mainly because I'm a bit lazy and I'm like, I'm not going to sit there and feed him while he's going to be awake in an hour's time. So I just bring him into bed and he wakes up after like half an hour, an hour. So yeah, lazy mama. Right, so that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do like, comment and subscribe. And inshallah, I will see you guys very soon.